Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us here today on the DSE PLC 2025 annual investor call. We are pleased to have you here. Thank you very much for taking your time to join us. Before I turn it over to the CEO, I'd just like to remind you, as usual, if you have questions, kindly ask them in the chat and we will address them after the presentation. I see that the DSE team has now come on board. That being said, I would like now to turn it over to the CEO, Mr. Faiz Arab. Welcome, Faiz.
Thank you, Vinny. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Once again, welcome to our first investor call of this year with the Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange. They're going to take us through the performance of DSE for the previous year. A couple of things before I hand over to the DSE team. Firstly, I would like to congratulate the Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange team. You guys have done phenomenal last year. I think there were a couple of new products that have come into the market. I mean, the highlight obviously has been the ETFs and obviously the regional ETF that has done phenomenal. I think a couple of weeks ago we were together with the Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange team and we did the bell ringing for the regional ETF, which was again, we were the issuers on this counter. And we were very surprised actually to see how the Tanzanians have actually invested and the influx of people onto these new products has been commendable. But anyways, today it's about Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange. I would like to first congratulate the CEO, Peter Naitolela. Congratulations, Sana, the CFO, Lucas Sinkala. I think if that's Emmanuel there on the call, I can see him. Congratulations once again. So I will hand over to you, Peter, if you can take us through.
Okay, thanks, Faiz. And just to pick up from where we came from, first of all, I want to thank our investors, both investors that invest in DSE as a company, also investors that invest in the market generally. And just to introduce the team, yes, Emmanuel Nyalali, Lucas Sinkala, our CFO, Emmanuel, our Chief Business Officer, but also have Brighton, our Head of Data and Information Sales. And this team actually will be the one that will be walking you through what we delivered last year. With that said, I wish to, through you guys, to put it back to the team because the team is the one that put the numbers that we're discussing today. But thanks once again, I trust for organizing this. Thanks, DSE team, CSDR team. Over to you, Faiz.
Thank you, Peter. I will, I think, hand over to Lucas. Thank you. Welcome.
Thanks, Samir, and thanks, Chief Executive Officer of Relations to Exchange, Mr. Peter Naitolela. So I will just take you on the overview of DSE market performance for year 2025. And we are first going to look on the total market capitalization, where for year 2025, we have seen that there's a tremendous growth, whereby the market cap increased by 34% to Tanzania shilling 23.995 trillion from the previous recorded market cap of 17.868 trillion. We've also seen that there is an increase in both domestic market capitalization, where it rose by 25% from the recorded market cap of 12.243 trillion, Tanzania shilling 15.581 trillion. And we are reporting that the market has performed well due to the increase in both prices of domestically listed company and foreign listed company, as well as in year 2025, we have seen that there were new rules that were approved by capital market and security authorities, which contributed very much to the participation of both the locals and the foreign investors. In terms of value of share traded, we are reporting that for period under review, we have witnessed that the value of share traded increased to Tanzania shilling 664 billion, which is almost 3 times from the previous year recorded the value of share traded of 229 trillion. Apart from that, we have seen that there's an increase in the value of government bond traded, where it reached to 5.847 trillion compared to previous year 3.143 trillion. Apart from that, we have seen also that there is an increase in the value of outstanding government bond, where we have seen that the value has gone to Tanzania shillings 32 trillion compared to the previous year amount of 25 trillion. Also, when we are looking at a value of corporate bonds, we are reporting that it reached to 1.5 trillion compared to previous year amount of 582 billion. And we are reporting that the growth in value of the outstanding corporate bonds was due to contribution of new issuance, which were from the Azania Bank, CRDB Bank, and also we have seen that we had one sovereign scoop, which was listed by the Revolutionary Government of Zanzibar, as well as the corporate bond that were issued by Tanzanian Commercial Bank, as well as the NMB Bank. In terms of number of investors for the period under review, we are reporting that the number of investors increased significantly, where it reached to 734,000 investors compared to previous year 614,000 investors. And we are reporting that the number of investors have increased significantly due to increase in the participation of local investors, where the mobile trading platform significantly helped the local investors to reach the market. And apart from that, we are reporting that apart other developments that occurred in the market during the period, we had our exchange traded funds, which were listed in our stock market exchange, which was coming from the Vertex International. And for period under review, we had a total turnover of 4.12 billion, and we closed with a market cap of 21.87 billion. Other development, we are reporting that for year 2025, we relocated our office from our previous location, where we moved from Kambarage House to our new building at Morocco Square. And we are reporting that the new building will help to profile the exchange in terms of visibility. Also, the new building will facilitate hosting of different events, including training, as well as the investor education, which we normally conduct in our place. Apart from that, before I take through financial performance, I will welcome our Chief Executive Officer to take through in case if we have anything to add on the market performance report.
Okay, thank you, Lucas, and thanks for the interesting once again. So basically, just to cycle back, what we've done over the last 12 months is improve where we left off since last time we spoke. We moved in I think it was January 20th last year to our new premises, and what we saving from rental premises, etc. But also we have to pay, of course, from the amount we put aside to acquire this property. But what we've accomplished from that is us being able as an exchange to say this is our name, this is our property. So that's one thing that I think we should applaud the team that came before me and the team that is here right now. Thank you, everyone. And thank you for our investors to support us through that. And number two, we've been expanding our product offering. So far, we've been dealing over the years with equities and bonds, but now we have ETFs, and we dealing with one of our advisors that has launched an ETF that is not the part of discussion of the last 4 quarters of last year, but part of our ongoing business. Thank you, I trust. So we pushing and we're trying to grow the market. We're trying to grow our investor base. That said, I would wish to hear more from our investors, from our brokers, etc., so that we can respond accordingly. And over the course of the conversation, I also share what we had presented earlier in terms of us as an exchange beyond the numbers. What do we do? What to do? What to do? How can we move from here? Thank you, Lucas.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. So I'll just take through another section where I'm going to present the overview of financial performance for the year 2025. We are reporting that for period under review, we recorded a total income of Tanzania 17.496 billion compared to previous year amount of 11.535 billion. And we are reporting that the major driver for increase in total income for the period under review were mainly due to the improvement on the equities and bond turnover, where we witnessed that in the year 2025, we recorded a significant increase in both equity and bond turnover. Also, in terms of listing, we are reporting that we have recorded significant increase in listing fee on both equity, bonds, and the government bonds. So apart from that, we're reporting that our other non-core income increased significantly to Tanzania 4.1 billion compared to previous year 3.66 billion. And this has been caused by increase in both investment income and other income, which includes the disposal proceeds that we realize from the sale of our fixed asset, especially from the old buildings, as well as the disposal of motor vehicle, which were one-off. In terms of operating expenses, we are reporting that for year 2025, we recorded total expenses of 11.12 billion compared to previous year 7.217 billion. So we have seen that the expenses have gone up significantly to almost 3 billion, and the major driver for the increase in expenses for year 2025 is due to the increase in both depreciation and amortization expenses, where, as I mentioned that in the previous, we were being hosted by National Housing Corporation, so there were no depreciation on both building and there was no depreciation on the building expenses. But for year 2025, we acquired our new building, so we started amortizing the depreciation expenses for the building. Apart from that, we have seen that there is an increase in ICT spending, where in our previous year, we didn't have that spending. But when we moved to our new office at Morocco Square, we acquired new servers and the other intangible assets, which led to the increase in both depreciation expenses in our books. Apart from that, we had a number of regional meetings, which were not for the case for year 2025. And the other area that has caused increase in expenses was due to increase in business development expenses, especially the engagement with the policymakers, which were not the case for year 2024. Apart from that, we are reporting that during the period under review, we recorded a profit before tax of 6.37 billion compared to previous year profit before tax of 4.318 billion. And we are reporting that we recorded after tax profit of 6.083 billion compared to previous year profit after tax of 4.272 billion. And when we are looking at the profitability trend, we are reporting that the profit that has been recorded for year 2025 has been higher almost by 2.2 billion compared to previous year amount of profit of 4.3 billion. In terms also of dividend per share, we have indicated here that for the period from year 2021 to year 2024, DSE has been consistently paying dividend to its shareholders, where the last year dividend paid was 125 per share, and we are expecting that for year 2025, the dividend is going to go higher, given that after the body approval, so which will be declared soon. Apart from that, we are reporting on our balance sheet that the total asset have increased to 42.17 billion compared to previous year 36.05 billion. And when you are looking at our shareholders fund, we are reporting that it has increased to Tanzania shilling 35.97 billion compared to previous year 31.26 billion. Apart from that, we are reporting that on key performance indicators, that our operating profit margin has increased by 102%, where in previous year we had an operating profit margin of 8%, where the current year we have 17%. So almost this tells us that the dependence on non-core revenue for year 2025 has been decreasing significantly compared to year 2024. In terms of return on the asset, we are reporting that it increased to 14% compared to previous year 12%, and the return on equity increased to 17% compared to previous year 14%. And the earnings per share, we are reporting that has increased by 42% from Tanzania shilling 173.99 to Tanzania shilling 255.32. And in terms of price per share, we are reporting that the DSE price has increased to Tanzania shillings 7,150 compared to previous year 2,360, so the increase of 203. The price earning ratio has increased by 113% from 13.16 to Tanzania to 28. In terms of productivity per staff, we are reporting that the revenue per staff have increased from 350 million in year 2024 to Tanzania shilling 486, so the increase of 39%. And we are reporting on staff cost to income ratio has decreased from 40% to 31%, which indicates that we have been more efficient in generating our revenue given the existing number of staff. And when we are looking at the current ratio, we are reporting that our current ratio is around 3.92 compared to previous year 4.39. So this indicates that our organization is still able to meet the short-term and the short-term maturing obligation. In terms of cost to income ratio, we are reporting that almost has increased slightly to 64% compared to previous year 63%. So we are reporting that the ratio has gone up due to the increase in the expenses during the period under review. In terms of projection, when we are comparing our 2023-2025 strategic plan projection with the actual results that we have achieved for the period under review, we are reporting that this year profit of 6.4 billion is higher compared to the strategic plan profit of 6.1. And when we are comparing to the cumulative from year 2023 to year 2025, we are reporting that we are still far compared to our strategic plan, where the profit that we have recorded for a period of 3 years is 16.4 compared to the strategic plan projection of 15.9. So in terms of initiatives and the activities that we are planning for year 2026, given that the year 2025 was a good year, we expect that the year 2026 is going also to be a good year as well. So we have projected that in our budget and plan that we are expecting the improvement in liquidity, where we are expecting to attain the equity turnover of 6% of the domestic market capitalization. And we are expecting that to attain the bond turnover of 53% of outstanding government bonds, where this will be the increase from the 18% which we recorded in year 2025. Also, we are planning that to increase our data sales and the revenue by 8%, for 8% of our DSE core revenue, But for year 2026, we had our data revenue as a percentage of our core revenue of 6%. So we expect to increase by 2%. And in terms of listing, we are expecting that for year 2026 to have 11 listings, which 3 will come from equity and 8 will come from the corporate bond. Also, we are targeting that for year 2026 to attain a profit after tax of 8.35 billion, and we are planning to achieve a return on asset of 18% and return on equity of 20%. Also, we are planning to increase the investor base to reach 827,000 investors from the one which we recorded in year 2025, which we are 704 investors.
Thank you, Lucas. And to our investors, we've shared what we believe is basically plausible, what we can achieve through BAU. But if you look at what we've been able to achieve as an exchange as CSDR, a subsidiary, etc., and also trying to look at the market, we are on a course whereby we can easily deliver 1.2 million investor accounts before the end of the year. So yes, we appreciate what you've supported us through. We appreciate what we have done. I appreciate what the team has done. But what we wish to promise you that what we are promising right now is the basic minimum that we can do, but we can do more, and we promise to do more. And just looking for before we go to the investments portfolios, etc. Just look at the numbers in terms of investors. We believe before the end of this year, we'll get to 1.2 million. And that's something that I know Brighton is listening to this. He has a big part to play in this. But that said, over to you, Lucas, once again. And I trust him.
Mr. Lucas, anything else to add before we welcome the CEO for a few remarks and open it up for Q&A?
Yeah, thanks. I think on my side, I don't have much to add. Maybe you can welcome the audience for questions so that we can respond.
All right. We have a lot of people saying congratulations. So I'm seeing a lot of people are happy with the results that they've seen so far. We have a question. Q4 showed a sharp improvement in liquidity. What structural changes, if any, occurred in the market in Q4 that made liquidity better? Was it maybe technology, brokerage behavior, regulations, investor access? And how sustainable is this liquidity? And in the light of this, is there any progress made in the regulations for the Securities Lending and Borrowing Framework, SLB, to facilitate short selling of stocks? This was mentioned in last year's investor call.
Thank you. It absolutely love in a good way because the question is loaded. It's loaded in a lot of ways that I have to answer in few stops. Number one, okay, in terms of the number of increasing numbers of investors, yes, we have been able to achieve that. And just to share with you, as we're preparing this presentation, as end of December, we're around 740,000. But as of yesterday evening, we are almost 780,000. We're 777,000 and something. And the uptake that we're getting right now, it's more than 100,000 per day. Basically, which means if God blesses us to keep this momentum, we'll be able to get to 1,000 or 1 million, rather, 1 million in 1, 2 so far. And that said, it doesn't just come along with just the products. It also comes, or the investors. It also comes with what are you solutioning for, which is an area whereby I have to thank. I trust have to thank most of representatives from the market, that they bring solutions to the market that some of us never thought for a few years ago. So that said, we are at a point whereby when we're preparing this, if we look at the December numbers, we're just shy of 24 trillion on total market capitalization. But as of yesterday, we're almost 32 trillion. Local companies, almost 21 trillion, which a year and a half, a year ago, was way less than that. It was, I think, 16 trillion. So we're getting to a point whereby we are growing the market, we exciting investors to come to work with us. But where we need to do better is, number one, to introduce more products that can interest investors, that can say, you know what, I don't wish to invest in a particular product ABCD, but I want to invest where I can take my capital, where I can say, well, you know what, when the gains come through the capital investment, it will work towards my idea. So there's quite a bit of that. And last but not least, us as an exchange, we still try to work all with partners to try to grow the knowledge, try to work with the likes of I Trust, try to work with the likes of the regulators, etc., to say this is where we are, but there's more we can do. I hope what I said makes sense.
Yes, thank you very, very much. It is our hope that we have answered that question effectively. Thank you for that. Looking into the plans for 2026, you mentioned plans to list 3 new equity companies. Could you provide more details about these companies?
No, no, what I said that we did football. That I'll ask before I comment. Faiza, are you still on?
I'm here.
You're one of the biggest advisors in this market. Should we or
Again,
shouldn't we?
I don't think it's
Oh,
time yet, Peter.
you don't it right, yeah. So I'll take the cue from Faiz. Maybe
Yeah.
not time yet, but generally, if you can share, as a market, we've come over the last 3 decades. We've come from far. There's a lot that can happen and will happen over the next year, 2, 3 years. But let's wait and hear from this group. Not right now.
So you're not giving any exclusives during this call?
We just say stay tuned.
Stay.
So
Yes.
here thing I'll tell you, and most of our investors know my wife. My wife is a lawyer. So I'll not speak unless my lawyer is here. He's not here right now.
Next call, we'll have to make sure your lawyer is here with you. Thank you for that. It was worth a try. You have mentioned that over the past 3 decades, our market has come a long way. What would you say distinguishes the Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange from other exchanges, for example, the Nairobi Stock Exchange?
Thank you. And on this question, I also bring my team. I'll bring particularly Emmanuel Nyerali. But what we as an exchange have done, we've brought ourselves up to get to a point whereby we've built our basically we are known for being number one in terms of when it comes to sustainability issues, and we are the market to go to. Number two, even when it comes to Coke. And sometimes we get criticized by some of our big advisor investors say, you know what, for a market like Tanzania, we shouldn't have to issue certain regulations in another market before Tanzania. But to come back to your question, what we've done well, number one, is we've involved investors, we've involved the general public, both from the government side, from the general investor, in terms of what do you want from this market. Number two, now comes to the Sukuk issue that I was commenting on. We have to do better in terms of attracting other markets. We have a unique position whereby beyond us as DSE, etc., we also have very good connections historically with the GCC countries, etc., that can attract a lot of these investors that can bring in, whereby one transaction, if Faiz and Frank goes to market to issue one transaction, it'll be taken by one client that will basically take over everything. So what we can do is, number one, we have attraction in terms of culturally, we have inheritance from different backgrounds, culturally, religiously, etc. Number two, in terms of the fact that we have a lot of energy sources, but also we are a country whereby we still have a lot of green resources. And number three, at the end of the day, you have to remember, we are a country that basically we go to a lot of African countries out of the dark sides, and we help to bring them to this side, be happy. And that's where I believe as an exchange, we can do more on that side.
Thank you very much for that. And now looking still into our market and plans for expansion, or rather a broader reach, how does the DSE plan to attract more retail and perhaps institutional investors to the market? And with that regard, how does it plan on also reaching or facilitating investors who are in the diaspora?
So I'll come through that in a minute, but Emmanuel, if you can comment from your era as Chief Business Development Officer, what we've been doing and what we're planning to do, and then I'll come afterwards to cement on what we've said.
There are three fundamental initiatives which we are taking. One which actually is the best practice is stability of the market, that of more fixed income securities. You know that fixed income securities is more stable in terms of income, predicted income, but also on capital preservation. For the level of our market, which is not yet mature but is growing, you need to have a solid fixed income market segment, at least to attract investors to come to the market. That's one. Two, as the market grows, you need also to diversify your products, meaning that in addition to traditional products like shares and the bonds, but you need also to add the innovation, like innovative product like ETF. Last year we listed the first ETF, but as you know, for this year we listed I Trust East African large cap ETF, but also we have a number of Sukuk instruments in our market. So that diversification also tends to attract more investors, but also to make your market sustainable in terms of one part of the market maybe suffer from liquidity or other effects from the economy. You still have an asset class which support your market. The other issues, of course, is on a digital platform. Our digital platform has really played huge. It's a huge factor in driving our liquidity at the moment. And we've seen that it's many young people from the age of 20 up to 30. They've been very active in our market, and we look at them as also future, our investment, established investors for future. So our digital platform also has played a huge role in attracting investors, particularly young investors, who will also continue to. We are sure that they will continue to invest in our market in future. So fundamentally, I would say that those three issues have really drive our growth in currently, and also we are looking also in the future to continue developing those those initiatives.
Okay, thank you, Manuel. And picking up from that, there's quite a few questions that I've seen. I will pick up from a few, and some the will also package and share with us. But what I've been able to pick up that I think as management we should be able to respond to is number one, how do we distinguish ourselves from DSE vis-a-vis other exchanges, as in NSE? That I think I will pick up, and Emmanuel can help me with that. There's another question around wallet. They are saying around wallet. What does the wallet mean? And the other question, I think it's a bit misconstrued. There's you said a target of 6% equity turnover. This is an ambition. What we say is not necessarily a given, but it's an ambition. But you've said a target of 6% equity turnover and 2% bond turnover. So these are some of the ones that we set for our bond. Our business ambitions, and which can also change as time goes on. But that said, I will pass over to the ITRUST team, and then we can pick it up from there. And then my team, I think we're looking at the questions, and we can respond accordingly. I have a few that I've taken over, but there's some that we can work together to respond. Over to you, ITRUST.
Yes, thank you for actually picking up on some of those questions. Mr. Nyalali, you mentioned the young generation. We have a few questions from them, and they're very eager to learn how they can invest even further through DSE, or rather in the stock exchange. And some of them are asking, what is DSE's technological advancement plan this year to improve and grow trading? And do you plan on introducing new features to attract a younger population? So again, this is your moment to give us new updates. Karibuni.
So I'll start with the last one. I think futures meant maybe futures, I hope, but even if it didn't mean that way. But we, as an exchange, we are trying to grow. We're working with the commodity exchange as well. And quite a few products that we're trying to introduce beyond what you can do as an exchange, what we do with our listed partners, brokers, etc., is also what the commodity exchange does. Literally, I will tell you about it now before I got into this call. I was talking to the CEO of the commodity exchange, and some of the things we're discussing is around how do we structure products that can appeal on both sides of the market, and how can we create liquidity, etc. But that said, as I said earlier, and this moment for you as ITRUST and a moment for my team, in terms of other products that we're offering, there's a lot that we do, but I wish to hear from some of my colleagues what they have to share, and then I'll come back later on.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'll start. There are a number of products which we are looking to introduce, particularly in 2026. One of those products is REIT. We've been working with our members, market intermediaries, to structure REIT products in our market. We are working with some of the potential issuer, and we think that in this year at least there will be one REIT product for the first time in our markets. So that's one product which we are looking to introduce in our market.
Yeah, apart from that, maybe I can add from where Niraj, we are also planning to introduce the fractional shares. So currently we were in the process of reviewing the fractional shares rules, which we submitted to CMSA for approval. So we hope coming to year 2026, second quarter, we can have some of the shares to be traded by our stock brokers. And apart from that, I think we have planned that to introduce the index fund in our market. And we have started with the East African index. And we, in our 2023-2027 strategic plan, we planned that for second quarter for year 2026 to have also the index fund traded in our market. I don't think I've. So those are the only products that I think for our side.
Okay,
so
thank
far
you. Thank you, Emmanuel and Lucas. And if there are more questions, we can chip in as we discuss. Sometimes it's more easier when you get questions and to respond rather than share what we have. Sometimes we may either share, sometimes we also overshare. But let's say
We definitely welcome oversharing. This is the right platform for that. But we have some possibly new investors who are wondering that if perhaps a listed company goes bankrupt, what would the DSE do to protect yourselves and the investors?
I think this is more a question for ITRAS more than us, but I'll share a few, and my team will also share. Basically, when you come to the market, you come to DSE, both investors and investees are also protected, both sides in terms of what can possibly, God forbid, go wrong. And coming back to your question, basically it would mean that something was going wrong over time. A company doesn't fail in one day. So if it gets to a point where a company is struggling in the way they have to wind up, there should have and would have been signs that would have told that this company is struggling. And that also would have told in terms of quarterly publications, etc. And now I look back to brokers that are on the call, companies that are on the call that are listed. Let's not wait for annual publications of numbers. Quarter publications helps to sense check. Are we okay? So coming back to the question, yes, we'll be able to monitor in terms of number what day one, day two, maybe the numbers are not quite well. We'll ask questions, etc. And we do actually, by the way, as an exchange, as also our regulators may say, ask questions. But at some point, we don't always want to list companies just for the sake of it. We're still a young market. But over time, if you think you're not in health position, I do want to challenge and encourage, say, you know what, maybe let's sit back, maybe we'll do lists and then we'll come back later on. But if we can survive, we say, you know what, we'll survive, but give us a quarter, 2 quarters, 3 quarters, we'll come back to you. So that's my personal philosophy as the CEO of the exchange, but I do invite my brothers and sisters that have been there through the exchange, even through brokers that have been there before me. They are thinking about philosophy in terms of, do you want to delist companies to protect your investors, or do you want to protect the market in terms of supporting companies to grow?
Thank you very much for that. Going back to the young people, I know the DSE offers various sessions, various courses. They're requesting, or rather, they're asking if the DSE can put more focus on digital education in order to get more investors in the future. Maybe you can assist us by highlighting some of the courses that the DSE has, some of opportunities that young people can take advantage of from the DSE to make sure that they invest in their investment education per se.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, my name is Brighton. I'm the head of training and market data sales. So we have something which is called DSE Academy, where we do provide various courses in various areas. One among our core courses is securities investment and trading course, which we've been running over the years. And for this year, we're starting next week on 16th, where we do provide trainings on actually how to invest, how to deal with shares, how to deal with bonds, on all the securities that are available in the market. But also we do have provide other training in terms of the investor side, in terms of ASA certificate, and also we do customized trainings for entities, for groups that come together. So if you do have your group, you can come out, you can write at the DSE, we can structure training for you, we can come in training and inform you the best decisions on how to handle securities that are listed at the stock exchange. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that. We also
I think Brighton has had a very good picture in terms of what we as an exchange, as a company, aspire to do. But let's go to the next question. But thank you, Brighton, for that update.
was Mr. Brighton, did you want to add something else?
Yes, yes, in terms of that, I wanted to include two things. One is students challenge, where we invite university students to participate in our challenges, where we give them a virtual portfolio so they can train and learn actually how to trade. So we do that. But also, for the companies, we have something which is called the DSE Enterprise Acceleration Program, where we do invite all the companies that are looking ahead to come with their products over the years at the Direction of Exchange, whether it's shares or whether it's corporate bonds. We do welcome the companies so we can provide and train them on different areas such as governance, compliance, regulatory issues, finance, and the likes. So those are the main areas of the training department that we actually deal with. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Brighton.
Thank you very much. We also have a few questions regarding security risk. How does DSE design cyber resilience strategies to ensure continuity of trading and data integrity in the event of coordinated cyber incidents?
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm not sure if we have our head of technology, Ali, but what a few things that we've been able to do, number one, in terms of both the user experience, but also in terms of the background security protection. So one of the things that we've been doing, for example, from the user experience, is try to change even what we are using right now from Kiganjani, try to produce a new version that will be, number one, more user-friendly. Number two, also try to protect yourselves against potential data breaches so that when you're inputting your certain information, you make sure that this is the app or the website that I expect to face. But number two is what we've also been doing is also trying to, from the technology side on the background, is to make sure that we have data protection teams that can handle what we expect, what we do not expect, because as the world moves fast, you never know what you'll be able to face. And one of the things that we face every time, and this one thing that will give comfort to our investors, is we get a lot of challenge internally from our audit team, from our technology team, in terms of what is going right, what is not going right, etc. And we try to keep up to date to the latest technology, both in terms of usability, also in terms of comfortability, also in terms of security. And we do welcome any challenge that if you say you're facing something that you think we could do better, we encourage come to us to discuss how can we improve on that angle. And as I said, unfortunately, we don't have a head of technology today, but is working
Hello?
hard to deliver
Hello.
the comfort to the team. Ali, are you here?
Yes, Chief, I've just joined.
Oh, sorry. Actually, I was speaking on your behalf, but you're here.
Thank you.
So,
Of
Ali,
course,
go
I've
ahead.
had in the last sentence, but I think you have said it well. Just to add from the technical angle, of course, well, all of our application, they are going through the cyber sort of penetration tests before they go live. But also we have a separate vendor who give us the security as a service to keep on continuing checking. But also on Sophos level, we have MDR, which is also they have the second eye or the third eye as far as the cyber space is doing in our environment. So we are quite resilient in that area, though cyber issue, it keep on changing and imitating every day, but we are doing to our level best. So I just give assurance to the investor, like we are well in that space.
Yes, hello?
Yes. Thank you very much for that reassurance to the investors. Sorry, did you want to add something else?
Yes, I wanted to add something
Yes.
on top of what CEO and CTO has commented is on our system, we have something we call two-factor authentication. The person who is speaking is Chief Internal Auditor McLeod. I have added something we call two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication in our system. Some investors, they could see when they log even on the systems, they access some of the services, they normally get OTP on their email or on their mobile wallet. So that is how we improve security in our area. Thank you.
Thank you very much for clarifying that. Going back, people are still interested in getting more of a hint of where 2026 is going. The 11 listings in the company plan for 2026, are they based on company estimates and targets or based on companies that have shown interest to come to market? And is the DSE, does it have a size when it comes to companies that it's targeting for these new listings?
So I will start with the last question. Number one, we don't discriminate against any particular set of companies. And actually, we actually do have programs beyond the main investment market. We do have the EGM, basically just to share with some of our investors that may not necessarily be in tune in terms of what we're saying. If you come to the main investment market, this is basically blue chip companies. It's issue paid up capital 1 billion shillings, 25% you have to float. But if you come to the EGM market, our alternative investment market, is 10%, 200 million in terms of issue and paid up capital. So it's less onerous. And we as DSE, we don't discriminate. We actually encourage more companies to come through because we believe in our journey to grow together as a company and as an exchange, and we can move on. And one of our biggest success stories that I think we don't shout about enough, Emmanuel, is when we look at Kombozi, for example. We took a company that was a bank that was more structured towards Catholics that will pay their tithes, etc., to that bank, but it's grown to become a very big bank, and it's grown to the main investment market. And there's quite a few that are in the pipeline in terms of moving from the EGM market to the main investment market, but also new companies, which was also referred to in the question that was asked. So there's quite a bit that we're doing. And one thing that I would want to challenge and ask in terms of all of us that are on this call, let's not think when we challenge investors, for example, let's not think you have to have 2 billion shillings, a billion shillings, a million shillings to be able to invest in shares. Let's also not think in terms of if you have a company, I can have Nalima Mkuranga pale, my mangoes, my oranges. If I can get something to just get the market going, there's a lot that we can do and to raise more capital to grow the market beyond where we are right now. So to answer the question, and I've seen a few, you've also tried to package a question a lot, but I've seen a lot of questions which I can respond to. The market is open in terms of both investors. Don't think you need 1 million shillings, you need 2 million shillings. No. For example, right now, if you have 10,000 shillings, you can invest in shares. Number two, if you have a company that you want to bring to market, you don't need to hustle a lot. We just need to say, this is my business model, this is what we're trying to do, this is the investment you're looking for. Can you support us? So that was my 2 cents.
Thank you very much. I think the last question to wrap everything up in a nice little bow across these 2026 targets: liquidity, listings, profitability, and investor growth. Which single lever, if you could choose one, does management believe will have the highest multiplier effect on overall market development?
I'm not sure if it was mentioned, but for me, product offering in the sense that we have a market that is growing and it's growing, and it's very excited about the market. I think a lot of times us, and I will put this back to iTrust product offerings, you can see when you should for example, the ETF, when you advise clients, there's a lot of excitement, there's more liquidity, more than what the market can absorb. So I think for me, it's more product offering beyond anything else. The rest will follow.
Thank you very much. I believe that answers all our questions that we have. Before we welcome Mr. Faze to conclude the session, I'll just like to call upon the DSE team, led by you, Mr. Nalitolela, if there's anything that you would like to say to close up the session.
Thank you. And I think I've spoken quite a bit, and my team is here, and this is the team that I want to acknowledge. They've been pushing from both the front office, back office, etc. So, and we do have beyond the traditional exchange business. Brighton has been here talking about data sales, etc. So I'd wish if you can allow us 2 people. I know Lucas has also been speaking alongside me in terms of us as a company, what are we delivering to our investors. But I would wish Emmanuel, if you can, talk about our new offerings, T+2, etc. And then if we can get also from the SDR side to share in terms of what we can offer to our investors.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Emmanuel. Can hear you.
Oh, okay. I was fitting the microphone on. Now it's open. Yeah. On a new offering, for the year 2026, we are looking to have more product, particularly equity. Equity, I'm talking about, and I'm talking from the already known information. Some of the companies from the owned by the government, we expect a few of the companies to be listed on the stock exchange. We're also looking at this some of the well-established company from the private sector to have at least one good company coming to the market. Of course, the introduction of more ETF product. We know some of the fund manager have indicated their desire to bring ETF. We are also going to launch Islamic compliance index for the companies, which will include the companies which comply to the Islamic code of conduct. So that will be an addition for this year. We are also looking to work with our partners to introduce an ESG index. This will give a kind of a guidance on a compliance factors that the companies have complied to the sustainability standards. You know about APSA Financial Market Index, but this one will more be tuned toward the sustainability standard. So we are going to look at the company and with the thing like gender, the thing like climate, and those will be published to investors. We are looking to attract more bonds, particularly from the government side. We've been approached with some government-owned institution. We are not going to mention them here, but I think we're going to have some of the government-owned institution offering infrastructure bonds. So we are at least one infrastructure bond. Also, we are going to work with the municipalities to attract some of the municipalities to issue bonds. Yeah, I thought I can say that in a nutshell, those are the products that we are going to push for the year 2026.
Okay, I think Faiz from us, I think we've shared a few ideas and quite a bit of it we also discussed offline beyond these meetings in terms of you being one of the leading exchanges, brokers, licensed, and investment advisors, etc. We do exchange quite a bit, and if I'll sum it up beyond what Emmanuel said is number one, we believe in the market. We believe in the youth market that we have here. We believe in technology. And number three, we believe in new products that we've been able to push, but also we understand that we've also been able to get support from the likes of ITRAS and beyond in terms of growing the market. Hopefully I've done justice to our cause, Emmanuel, Brighton, Lucas.
Yeah, I think everything has been covered, so we don't have much to add.
Thank you very much, Mr. Naitolele and your team. Before I hand it over to the CEO, I'd just like to remind everyone that this session was recorded. Therefore, you'll be able to access it on iTrust's YouTube channel by tomorrow. And in case you have any other questions, please feel free to get in touch with DSE or iTrust. That being said, welcome, Faith.
Thanks, Vinny. Once again, Peter, thank you so much for this insightful walk through DSC's year 2025. And firstly, I would like to thank the whole team at DSC, Lucas, Brighton, Emmanuel. I know Ali is logged on somewhere, Ali Hoffman, and yourself, Peter. Thank you so much for this information again. And I just before we close, Peter, I think you touched on something which was very important, where you talk about investors to start investing at any amount. There is no amount where you say that I will start when I have 10 million, 20 million, 100 million. As you said, you can start with any amount, and you can reach out to us. We will be happy to take you through this. We have some webinars as well on personal financing. So those are quite insightful in terms of planning your investment journey, be it with us or in the exchange. We'll be happy to take you through. So by this, I would like to thank you, all of you guys. Thank you so much for joining this call, DSC team, and all the subscribers and viewers for today. I would like to say have a good evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Faiz. Thank you to the rest of the team. Thank you so much.
Thank you.